tales and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Okay, you
Okay,
saw
so you
our
didn't hear that.
and because you left the room and forgot to
Yeah.
tell me to turn the mute off.
Oh well.
Okay. So you saw mouse working. Now we're going to get told no sound. Here we go. Yep, I know. You've got sound now. Okay. So, yep. We're just yapping away. You should, yeah, I know. You will have sound in a minute. There's a delay.
I made a I screwed it up.
He screwed it up. Yep. So let's see. Here we go. We should be getting sound anytime here now. Okay, there it is. There's the sound. Oh, to try and get good help is impossible anymore. So, anyways, I love how everybody just jumps down your throat, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I
oh,
know.
there's no sound. Oh, there's no sound. You know, okay, there is a 30-second delay between when we start and when you see it. Okay, so you got to be a little patient. We'll eventually catch on to it. If we're halfway through the show and you can't hear us, then there's a problem. Okay.
I had something on my mind, so I left the room for a minute. I only had a minute left to go, and I had to come back in time for this. And then he turned it on, got all flustered. So
We have a schedule. We have a routine. We have a procedure. What of these do you not understand?
well, my
Really?
mind was going.
Oh, you have a mind. Okay. Anyways, we're on. You can hear us. You can see us. That's all that matters. And let us see who's joining us today. Well, the first one that was here was Nina. I don't see her at the moment up in the chat, but she came on like first thing this morning when I first got things set up. So anyway, she is here. Sherry is here from Rainy My. I'm not sure what MY stands for as far as this. Imagine it's a state.
Maryland.
Maryland? No, I don't know.
Wow.
Anyways, Joanna is here. She's practicing free motion quilting on a quilt for the dogs. They won't care. I don't know.
I don't know.
They could be picky. You never know. Barb is here. And John is here, and he can only stay for a short bit. Okay, so got some plans for the evening, do you, John? Heather is here. Lydia is here. And Mona and Joanne and Mary is here from Virginia. So glad you had a wonderful trip and are home safely. Thank you, Mary. Betty Kennedy is here as well. And Karen Lyles, happy Pride Month from Vancouver, USA. Yes, we're going to talk about Pride Month because we are into it right now. Gloria is here as well. Karen B. Pat Wainwright from warm New York State. She's just trying to stay cool. It's actually very pleasant here today. It's warm. It's 23 Celsius. It's very comfortable. There's Nina. Carol is here. Lydia says, I'm the only one that's got no audio. No, Lydia, you've already got audio. Adam is here. Hi, Adam. And Charlotte. She says, just got home from 4-day retreat in Rockport, Texas. Oh, that sounds like fun, Charlotte. Barb says, what you don't have is a sticky note that says, turn on the sound, laugh out loud. Well, you want to know something? I didn't write it today, but I have my notes, and I usually write up here, mute off, exclamation marks. He has one job, and he doesn't do it.
Oh, do I have something on my forehead?
What? On your forehead?
Somebody said something. No, that's wrinkles, I think.
Yeah, it's probably glare from the lights. Arda is here from San Diego. I think.
Oh, I meant put it on.
Oh, put it on his forehead. Oh, okay.
Well, actually, he usually sits down and says, "Remind me to turn on the mic."
And you never do.
And I never remind him.
No, one job. Like I said, he has one job. You can't do that. Susan's here. Hi, Susan. Joanna says, I am no competition for you, Walter, with the free motion quilting. You have nothing to worry about. Well, he hasn't done any free motion quilting.
I haven't done anything since I've been back from Japan. I have to get on with that again. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do, because you'll lose your.
Well, part of the problem is I haven't been able to stay up late.
He's still being affected by jet lag. I think I'm pretty much over it now. Adam says, I think Walter's doing it on purpose. Yeah, that would be him. Yeah, he would. And he'd blame it on me. So anyways, so what has been going on? What have we been working on and things like that? Well, I'm starting to get back into the groove of things as far as my sewing's going. So a quick little, I'll be talking about these things in more detail come Tuesday on the Idiot Quilter. But here's my design wall with a few things on it. So there you go, John. I've got Michael all done for the Art East second star to the right. I made a little problem with Teddy. Teddy has a couple of things not quite right with him. First of all, Teddy has a flat head. He's not supposed to have a flat head, as I figured out yesterday when compared it with somebody else's version. And I went, okay. I thought the only problem I had was the fact that I got one of the pieces turned around somehow. And yeah, so there's this little square brown block hanging out in space. Also,
is that blue piece supposed to go all the way, but next to Teddy, all the way over? Is that supposed to be a straight line here for the color shift?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm done it. It's done. It's the way it's going to be. The other thing there is Teddy's head's not quite straight. So I'm just going to say Teddy has been well used. He's been well loved. And you know, when Teddies are well loved, they get worn out. So yeah, that's, we used to have a Teddy that was my grandfather's. My sister had it. And she woke up in the middle of the night and Teddy's head dropped off. Kind of scared the crap out of her. She was a little kid then. So it happens. Teddies can have their heads screwed on backwards. Anyways, who'll know? You do, because I pointed it out to you. But
this quilt will be uniquely Steve.
Let's just say I am not a copycat. It wouldn't be my quilt if I didn't have some problems with it. But anyways, Michael is done, and I am not pulling those pieces apart to fix it. No bloody way. So another thing that I started before we went to Japan, finished it when we got home, is this table runner, which is an In the Hoop project. Now, I have matching placemats, but not really. They weren't meant to be placemats. These were supposed to be the end pieces here.
Another mistake?
No, I didn't like the color that it turned out. So I changed the color. Also changed a couple of other things about it.
I don't know what was changed in the color. They look the same to
No,
me.
look at the color of these lines, what you see. Because when I started doing these pieces with the moons, they were in silver and stuff. And I didn't realize that because this is an OESD. I think it's an OESD. And they use Isocore threads. I use Floriani. My Janome machine defaults to Janome threads, meaning the colors. So I have to do a conversion to figure out or eyeball it. It was hard to eyeball this one because in the pictures of it, you couldn't absolutely see the colors all that clearly. So I decided, nope, I need to change the color of that. And then I realized that there was one color oops, that's not where I want to go. If you notice, these flowers don't stand out as much as they do here because of the outline. The outline, for some reason, I used a darker color. I decided to use a lighter color for the outline so they would pop more. So it took me a while to figure this out because I had end pieces, like there's 2 end pieces, right? Well, I made 4. So I thought, well, rather than throw them out, what the heck? Let's just put them together and they become placemats. Now I've gotten a little further with those. You'll notice that the table runner has a binding on it, and that one's finished. These are going to have the same binding. In fact, I finished those today, but I didn't take a picture. I'll show them on Tuesday. So it's now a set. And I don't know what I'll do with it, but I have a set if I ever need a gift. And I never seem to need a gift. This guy right here, I worked on the pop-up sew day on Saturday. You know I love gnomes, and I have a series of these gnomes. They're by Sweet Pea, which is a New Zealand embroidery company. And I've got a bunch of them for different occasions. And they came out with this one for Canada Day for us Canadians. So I had to do them. So I did, because I think they're stinking cute. I have a lot of them. I have a St. Patty's Day one. I have one that's a beaver. with a Canadian flag. I have whatever other ones looking around the room. Different ones, Easter, whatnot. So yeah, I have no place to hang them anymore. This piece over here, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It was in the hoop kind of thing. It's supposed to be a wall hanging. It's not very large. I'm possibly contemplating making this work into a quilt of some sort. I don't know what I'll do or what with it. For now, it's just there. So yeah, on Tuesday, I'll talk about some of these in a little bit more detail, about the problems I had with some tips and tricks and things when you're doing in the hoop embroidery, reading John's patterns correctly, things like that. Walter's been busy. He got the deck all done.
I stained it and potted all these plants.
So tell us what we've got growing.
Tomatoes, mostly tomatoes and peppers, actually.
Oh wait, I've got another close here. So this bunch, what do we got
Mostly
here?
tomatoes and peppers. The experimental crop this year is strawberries.
And those are the two bigger
Yeah,
pots on the bottom here.
And I've got some flowers, some dipladenias.
A who?
Dipladenias.
Dipladenias. Which are those pinky things?
Yeah, there's pink ones and red ones. And I've got, we've got green peppers, we've got chili peppers, we have jalapeno peppers, we have lots of tomatoes. They're all cherry tomatoes.
Did you put out the cucumbers?
And 3 cucumbers.
Is that what's over here?
Yeah. And then we've got some basil.
Or basil?
Basil.
You say basil, I say basil.
And that's about it right now.
What's in this little pot? In the pot?
There's beans in those pots. Beans?
Green beans?
Green beans and white and yellow beans.
But why is there
I put it in a pot to see if they will sprout.
Oh.
And then I'll put them in the big pot.
Oh, okay. So we got quite a bit of stuff going here. Of course, our chives we have every year. We do nothing with them.
Oh, yeah.
They just come up
They
every
come
year.
up every year.
They're a perennial, I guess. Or are they annual? No, they're perennial. That's what they call perennial. And they live through the winter and they pop right back up in the spring. We don't use a lot of chives. We should.
I use that when I make egg salad sandwiches.
Oh, of course. But anyways, and just we cleaned up. Walter got out the umbrella. This black thing under here is, we have a huge umbrella. I'll take pictures of that and show them to you maybe next week. But we got the umbrella out today and put it up, and I cleaned the table. And how do you love this plant right here on the table? Isn't that nice? It was out all winter long and it stayed green. And it only cost $4 at IKEA last year. And it won't come off the table because I glued it. Well, I didn't. I used alien tape, I think, on it. But that sucker spent the whole winter out there, and it still looks fresh as a daisy. Yeah, so everything's there. It'll be nice. In another month's time, with all this stuff growing, it'll look really nice. I always enjoy it that time of the year because it's nice and green and lush, and we have lots of salad things. And the strawberries, by the way, they're what, everberry they call them?
Everbearing.
Everbearing. So
that means they don't just come on. You have two kinds of strawberry. You got the everbearings that produce all summer, and then they've got ones, the regular strawberries are always you only have one harvest, right, in June.
Oh yeah, when you get regular strawberries from it all. So yeah, it'll be nice to see if what we get from those is experimental crop. Last year it was cantaloupe was our experimental crop.
Yeah, and it takes too long to grow.
Yeah. Yeah, they were 2-bite cantaloupes.
I was looking for beans in the, what do you call it, the in the nurseries, but they don't seem to have any pre-grown beans that I could find, so that's why I put seeds in.
Oh.
I don't know how well they'll do.
Now we still have stuff growing down under our grow lights, but Walter decided we shouldn't bother with lettuce outside this year. We get a better crop of lettuce under the lights, believe it or not.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, because lettuce for some reason doesn't really like really hot weather. So if I put it out on the deck it gets really hot on the deck. If I put it on the deck, it'll all go to seed right away. So
Yeah. So John says, you got your Michael done. It looks great. Nah, he still looks great. Oh, just blow smoke up my skirt with it. But I don't care. I think he still looks good. And, I just won't show it to people who are also doing the same project. They'll never know that I screwed up. And, there's plenty more characters to screw up. And
he says Teddy's been through a lot in Neverland. So
yeah, it's been a rough time for Teddy. Ruth's here. Hi, Ruth. Inappropriate Quilter. Zaza is here. And Adam says Teddy's had a hard life. He's still cute though. Yeah, he is.
It's a blockhead.
Yeah. John says don't worry about it. It won't be noticeable in the full quilt. Yeah, probably not. I'm not that worried about it.
I'll notice it.
Yeah, well, of course. Except you never pointed it out to me whatsoever.
Well, you never showed it to me.
Yeah, because I didn't want you to see that. Adam says it's an artistic interpretation. Yes, it is. Zaza loves the Teddy. Caroline's here. Hi, Caroline. And Bonnie's here as well. And I'm just going down here to see. Oops, why is that bouncing about? Walter would not do anything on purpose. I'm not sure which way to go with that. He does
everything
on purpose, yeah. Jeannie's here. Zaza loves the flowers on the chives. They're pretty. I never eat mine either. Yep. I wonder if you can eat the flowers.
I think technically you can, but I can't remember what they taste like. The stems of the flowers you can't eat, and I usually try not to let it go to flower because the chives aren't. They go through a phase where they're not that tasty.
Yeah, well, they probably go bitter.
Yeah, because they I don't know, lost my train of thought.
Oh, right off the track. Well, senior's moment. It'll come back to him tomorrow. Anyways, Jen's here. Hi, Jen.
It's because we were away they started to flower.
Oh, so. Yeah, we were gone. Barb says the strawberries will come up every year. Yeah.
Yeah, they're supposed to, so we'll see.
Oh, and Zaza says the flowers are edible on the chives.
Okay.
So, maybe I'll just munch on one and see what it tastes like and then die. Judy's here. Hi, Judy. So anyways, that's what he's been busy with out there, getting up early in the morning and doing the deck. He had to do it in sections.
Yeah, I have to when I do the stain, I have to do it really early in the morning because we get direct sunlight on the deck by about 9 o'clock.
You can fry an egg on it because
Yeah.
it's a western exposure, and it gets really, really hot. Well, it's not usually by 9, by about 11.
No, by 9 it starts creeping across the deck.
Okay.
I mean, by 11 the whole deck is engulfed in sun, but at 9 o'clock the outer reaches start getting.
Well, it gets hot. It gets very, very hot. Okay, let's see what else has been going on. Well, first of all, we've got announcements here. So sewing with me on Wednesdays, we're back into full swing with that every Wednesday. So all are welcome. Links in the show notes. We had a pop-up sew day yesterday for those of you that were there. Great. Those of that weren't, why?
I was busy.
I'll wait. I'll wait for an answer. Why? Yeah. Walter was up. He could have been. He says, yeah, I'm going to join in eventually. Yeah, I'm going to come on. And he never did.
No, I never did because I kept doing things.
Yeah, doing things, staring at your computer screen. I don't know what he's looking
No,
at.
that was in the morning, and in the afternoon I got busy repotting stuff. So.
Oh yeah, you had to run back out to the garden center.
Yeah, that's why, because I added some flowers. I decided to add some flowers to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever. Pamela is here from Minnesota, and so anyways, pop-up sew day was good. I got the little Canada gnome done, as you could see from there. I'm still struggling with I tried some things today with the Alaska quilt. Yeah. I tried something that an idea that was given to me about it from one of the ladies down at Ultimate Sewing, Donna. She teaches a class in it. I may have to go down and see her next week. She's there on Tuesday. She said at any time come in, she'd show me some other tricks with it. Um, I tried something different that she recommended today, and just on some scrap fabric, and it did sort of work better, but I'm still not 100% happy. I'm very, very picky about points. I don't like my points getting cut off. And, well, anyways, we'll see. I don't know if it's worth the struggle that I'm going through with it, but I hate to just abandon it too. Anyways, that's what is going on with that. And I worked on things on Pop-Up Sew Day, as I said, and I think everybody had a good time. It was a nice day out, so there may be a reason. We had a fair number of people, but it was a little bit light. But if the weather was nice someplace, it's summertime, people don't want to necessarily be stuck indoors sewing, when the weather's nice. So that's fine. When's the next Pop-Up Sew Day? Well, I am thinking every year I've had what I call Stephen's Birthday Bash Pop-Up Sew Day. My birthday's in July. And so that would mean the next one would probably be July the 13th. That would be the Saturday, I believe. My birthday falls on a Sunday this year because my birthday's
I
actually...
think you better check that.
You don't think 13th? It is? I thought July...
I have a doctor's appointment on July 13th.
Okay, maybe it's not July 13th. Because you wouldn't have a doctor's appointment.
I have it on a Monday, I think.
There's your calendar.
Yeah.
Go that. So what is it? It is... Oh, no, it's not the 13th. I must have looked at June or something. Yeah. No, it's the...
July 11th.
July the 11th. It would be July the 11th. Okay, so, yeah. But I will finalize my decision on that. And...
yeah, we might find out next week if there's another sew day from the club on a certain...
Oh, yeah, true. So, yeah, there are things pending. So just sometime in July, there will be Stephen's Birthday Bash Pop-Up Sew Day. Yeah. And usually on those ones, I have prizes. So we'll see how that works out. Judy says, I was helping out in a car show. Yeah, now all the excuses come. Yeah, really. I'm sorry I couldn't attend yesterday. I was aiming to, but I got distracted prepping last-minute projects. Uh-huh. Yeah, you remember what I did for a living, don't you? And I've heard all the excuses.
Dog ate my homework.
Dog ate my homework. My grandmother died for the 12th time. Just saying. I'm making notes. Okay, Teresa's here. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, Joanna says it's July the 11th. Yeah, but that's not written in stone yet, okay? That's just a possibility. We'll see. Because, we do have lives as well. But I hate to...
We do?
Well, maybe not so much. But, yeah, but there will be one probably in July at some point in time. Okay, so what did we do last week for content? Well, Monday morning coffee with Stephen last week was a live. Usually it should be the last Monday of every month when I go live with Monday morning coffee. But because we were away, blah, 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 it was Monday. The next one will be on the regular scheduled last Monday of the month. So whatever the last Monday in June is, that one will be live. But in the meantime, we'll have all the ones that I pre-record for that. On the Idiot Quilter, talked about the projects, having lost my Sojo, trying to get it back, what I had planned and things like that. And then on So Chatty, we did the making a double wedding ring block with Accuquilt, which was horrendous if you've seen it already. Oh, that was a pain in the butt. I was very discouraged with that. But I could have done a lot of editing and cut out a lot of the stuff, but I wanted you to see that, Accuquilt isn't the be-all and the end-all for everything. There are definitely good points, but not everything works out the way you would hope it would work out. No, especially when the company decides that they made a mistake on that particular die, which I knew nothing about, and then discontinued it. and put out a newer version of it that I'm assuming does not have the problems in it that I had with this one. But anyways, it is what it is. So you may have seen it, you may not have seen it, whatever. I asked then on So Chatty whether or not you wanted us to do more of the Accuquilt or whether you were getting sick of it. And I still don't know because nobody's really told me. Although I had a really good suggestion yesterday on the pop-up sew day. Somebody thought I should do a video on how to use the Stripology rulers. And I kind of figured, well, everybody knows they're not that difficult. But then I got thinking about it. I've been using the Stripology rulers for a long time, but I learned a few things not so long ago that I didn't realize. So I may develop a video for those too. I don't know if I'll develop it for next week, or I still have some larger dies that I have used before, and I know they work, that I might do videos about as well. But if you have suggestions, put them in the comments below any of my videos, or send me a direct message, an email, and I will consider we will consider what we should be doing on So Chatty that you think would be valuable. So next Saturday, we're off to Walter's group. His sew group are having their in-person sew day. So we're off to that. I don't know what I'm going to work on yet.
I don't know yet either. I'll just cut out a shirt, I guess. 'Cause I would like to sew something different, but I just
why don't you?
No, I got to plan that, and I need to plan a pattern and stuff like that. If I do shirt, it's easy.
Oh, okay. Go for the easy route then. Yeah, whatever. I'm just looking what here. But Mona says should be the 11th. I'll be at the quilt show in Sisters, Oregon. Well, good for you. Go. See if I'm hurt. Fine. Be that way. Oh, that'll be fun. The Sisters, Oregon quilt show. Yeah. If life was different and this was a different universe, it would be nice to go to see that one time in my life too. But unfortunately, it's located in a land that we can't go to anymore and won't want to go to. Anyways, enough about that. Ivy is here. She says, yes, the Stripology would be great. I have issues with it sometimes. Yes, there are issues. So yeah, I think I will do a video on that. Scott's here. Any trips planned this summer? I liked last year's videos of the quilting show in the UK. I would love to go back to the Birmingham Quilt Show. We had a really good time. It was great to see all the different quilts and everything like that. But I don't think we'll be doing...
we're skipping this year.
Yeah,
maybe
this year
next year. I don't know.
Yeah, we're kind of stripped out. We're kind of tripped out.
Yeah, last year we had a trip in May, and then we went to the quilt show and the problem is in England, it's right in the middle of the summer and it's really hot there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I'd like to do more than just go to the show when we go. So,
yeah.
But I don't want to go back to London again because we've been to London.
We've been to London many times. Although I love London.
Yeah.
But we've been there a lot. Yeah. So nothing on the books right now, Scott. We'll have
Plus,
to
we
wait.
need to do some work.
We have stuff
that
needs to be done here. Yeah. Jen says, I love the Accuquilt Drunkard's Path. Has made life and sewing so much easier. And I do have that one as well. And that might be one because it's curves. Because what I want to show on the double wedding ring is how Accuquilt helps you with curved sewing. Well, that didn't work because they didn't help you on that one. But they do on the Drunkard's Path because I've used it for things before. So yeah, that might be, maybe that'll be the next one that I'll demonstrate. Scott says, Stripology, not judge, wink, wink. Did anyone call for a policeman? Right. Pamela says, I do like watching your Accuquilt videos, even if things don't always go as expected, it's still a learning experience. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Pamela. Adam says, highlight was seeing me, obviously, at Birmingham. Yes, Adam.
Yes, it was.
It was. We had a good time. Wish we could have spent a little bit more time with you. It'd be nice if the next time we go to out there for that quilt show. It'd be nice if we can set up something where we can do dinner with you and Darren. That would be nice. And remember, you have a standing invitation to come for a visit if you ever come over here to our end of the pond, so to speak. I think we'd have a hoot. Artist says, yes, a video on stripology ruler would be great. I have the book, but haven't bought the rulers. I'd like to have some info before buying them. Okay, Arda, I will do that. It looks like that's something people want to see. And Zaza says, next time come up to Scotland. Yeah, we have been to Scotland, but it was like
a long time ago.
It was last
Actually,
century.
that would be nice to do.
It would be like nice to go to Scotland again. Yeah. Oh, M's here. Hi, Em. We're not done traveling yet, so yeah, may not be this year, but
maybe next year.
Maybe next year. We'll have to look into these ideas for things. Yeah. Okay, so where's that? Caught us up on everybody. It was there. Oh, yeah. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before was the annual Rhonda's Creative Quilt Sale. You know, we've been a couple of years in a row. We did some video. We always post it as well. We didn't go this year. We didn't go because we just got back from Japan. And to be honest, there isn't a whole lot of anything I want as far as fabric is concerned. Having said that, I just got an order of Japanese fabric today. More about that come Tuesday on the Idiot Quilter. But they're just, and to be honest, I mean, Rhonda's wonderful. She has, her prices on this sale are great. But there's so many people at it, and she has volunteers that help her out with cutting of fabric and stuff. But it is a little bit of a zoo kind of a thing. And, you know, I just didn't feel like that at the time. Nothing against Rhonda. No, for sure. It's a wonderful thing. And if you live in this area out here in southern Ontario or whatever, she has it all the time at the end of May. It's worth going to. You'll get some real bargains, but we just didn't make it. So I apologize to Rhonda for that if she sees this, because she's a wonderful person and her prices are damn good. And you can go to her website too. Her prices are good on her website as well. It's Rhonda's Creative Quilts. Just Google it, and her shipping is very reasonable. I don't know if she's shipping to the States.
No, it's not shipping to the States right now. But if you're Canadian and you want some decent fabric, she's pretty good price.
Yep, it's a good price and a good selection too. So lots of stuff this month going on in Toronto. We've got Toronto Pride. This is Pride Month, as I've already said in the opening here. And of course, FIFA is in Toronto and then out west in Vancouver. And that it's, you know, and it's also in the States and it's in Mexico, you know, it's all over the place. We're going to talk about that. And I'll tell you right off, spoiler alert, I am not a fan of FIFA. And you'll hear out why. So if you love it a lot and it's wonderful, well, you may want to turn us off. Because I'm not going to say a lot of nice things about it. I'm not. But anyways, before we get to that, let's talk about Pride Month. The Toronto Pride Parade happens on the last Sunday of June. When we were younger, we used to go to it, but we don't go to it anymore. Mainly because it draws well over 1 million people.
Last year it was 3 million.
Was it 3 million?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It makes a Japanese, a Tokyo subway system look spacious in there. It's just everybody and their dog is out there, and it's a zoo. It's a zoo. Not for older gentlemen. At least not for us. So we don't go anymore. Having said that, though, Walter came up with an idea the other day. You thought what?
We'll go in on the Saturday, look around, because it's not as busy. It is busy, but it's not as busy on Saturday. And they do have displays and booths and stuff like that. So go in, look around, maybe find a place to have something to eat. May not be in the gay village. We may have to go somewhere else. So
there is life outside of the gay village.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, out there. But we'll do that. That's all will be able to handle of that. So they have this whole month, they have shows and things going on, and a lot of people come in from across the continent, across North America. They'll come in for the events and everything, or from all over Canada and Ontario. It is a big going concern. And they never seem to ever have any real problems.
Except for people that block the parade.
Except for people who want to make a political statement and try to block the parade, which is ridiculous.
And who knows what will happen this year because of all the stuff that's happening.
Palestinians and the Jewish community that's going on in there, and then there's all kinds of stuff. And a lot of people turn around and they say, okay, Pride isn't political, it's to have a good time, it's to celebrate. Those people are absolutely wrong. The Pride Parade was established back in 1969 when there was a riot at the Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village of New York City, when the drag queens, because gay life was underground in those days, the cops were raiding it on a regular basis, this particular bar, especially if they didn't pay protection money because it was corrupt cops and the whole bit. And finally, the people that were frequent to that bar decided to stand up for themselves, and that is what the parade started as in the United States. Now, that is what has translated sort of around the world. However, that is not why there are pride parades in other countries. Canada's Pride Parade was not so much generated directly by Stonewall, but because of something that happened in the late 70s, the early 80s. I think it was 1981. 1981. The bathhouse raids, where the cops went in and they arrested a lot of men, gay men. You have to remember, in those days, gay life was underground, and they published the names of people that they had arrested in the local newspapers. And there were people who lost their jobs because of that. This is how their families found out that they were gay. There was even some who committed suicide.
Yeah, and there was in those places, a lot of times there's a lot of married men that go to those places. Yes. And some of them were prominent
in business
and that, and it was a real problem.
Yeah.
When that occurred.
So the parade was started out of those roots, the two, Stonewall and the bathhouse raids. And so it was political. It was a protest. Other organizations over the years have joined it, like unions have joined it, labor unions, the Teachers Federation that I belong to, and the Elementary Teachers Federation, political parties, different groups. But it is a political parade. And when people turn around and say, keep politics out of the parade, they are completely out in left field somewhere. Because this is exactly what the parade is all about. Yes, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of color. It's a lot of music. It's a lot of outlandish outfits. Some not wearing anything at all. There is that as well. It is a big party, but the roots of it are in politics, and they're still political there. So when people say we shouldn't be making it about politics, it's already about politics. That has never changed. But then you get these groups who decide that are not LGBTQ connected. They are like Black Lives Matter. They decided to try and shut the parade down.
That's who started it first.
And the gutlessness of the Pride Committee, the people who who organize the parade and everything like that every year, they didn't stand up. They didn't bring in the cops because they were having a little fight with the cops at the time. Now, the cops, that's a whole issue on itself, one way or the other.
In fact, the last time they stopped the parade, it was towards the end anyway, but the last time somebody stopped the parade, they and I think it was the Palestinians that
the Palestinians.
And the head of the parade was, the cops asked them, "Do you want us to remove them?" And they chickened out and said no.
Said no out of it. So this is the problem. And I think Scott made a comment. He says Toronto Pride made the mistake several years ago giving in to the demonstrators.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Those demonstrators were hijacking the parade. They weren't there to show their support for the LGBT community. In fact, those groups that did interrupt the parade are not necessarily LGBTQ positive either. I mean, the Palestinians are not LGBTQ positive. They do not accept in their society. I mean, maybe Canadian ones do because they're Canadian Palestinians and it's different. But
I don't think every single one of them that sat in the parade were necessarily there to support the parade.
No.
I think they were there to support their own cause.
Yeah, they were there to make their, you don't see the LGBT community going in and disrupting the Palestinian or the Jewish protests when they have them out there. So why do they think they should do that to our stuff? Really? So, and of course, at the time that the first interruption came with Black Lives Matter, the committee for the Pride Parade were not having good relations with the Toronto police force for one reason or another. So they had turned around and said they didn't want any members of the Toronto police force marching in the parade. Now, that is discriminatory because there are gay policemen. And they even have some of the cop cars are painted, not just for the parade, but all year round. We have one here in our region that has the rainbow colors and everything supporting Pride. It was a mistake by the organizers of the parade. But quite frankly, in my opinion, I don't know these people personally, but they're very flaky about what they're doing in the whole bit. But in spite of that, the parade goes on. So let's see what happens this year with it. But it's always been non-violent, even with these ones that are interrupted, which is more than you can say about some of the other large festivals or things that Toronto holds every year by other groups.
There's been other groups that have had festivals and it has turned violent. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I don't know if that festival is going.
I don't know. I think they lost funding over it, and I don't know if that one's going in. We're not going to say it because it's going to sound racist if we do. We're not being racist. We're just stating what happened. But that's enough about that. Anyways, it is political. It is a good time for those who enjoy crowds and, the whole bit with it. We don't enjoy crowds. So that's why we're not going to be part of it. Now, on Saturday, when I was having the pop-up sew day, out here in our own region, they had their Pride Parade, such as it is. It's a little much on a much smaller scale than Toronto.
Normally they have it on a Sunday.
They have it on the Sunday,
and we usually go before this to it for a little while just to see it. And Steve already made up his mind to do the sew day, and we had no idea that they had moved it to the Saturday.
They didn't do a very good job.
They don't do a very good job of advertising. In fact, they put out a poster that showed the marshal of the parade, and they had all these things about the marshal and all this other stuff, but forgot they didn't put the date of the parade, where it was, and what time it was on the posters.
But that's not unusual in our area with it. So we didn't go. But that's okay, because I did think briefly about at the last minute sending out everybody that's on the mailing list saying, "Oh, sorry, we're going to have to postpone this." But I don't do that. When I make a commitment to something, I see it through. I do not, cancel at the last minute. So I wasn't going to do that. And quite frankly, I'm sure we didn't miss a heck of a lot.
No, Usually we go and it's like, how
Thr-
long do you want to stay?
Yeah, they're, they have a vendors area or something, which is basically just a lot of people handing out brochures from social service thing and people who make jewelry, that kind of stuff. And then they had a drag show.
Of local drag shows, drag queens, which we know.
I'm not a fan of drag, really. I mean, fine, some people enjoy it, and if they do, that's great. But, the best drag shows I've ever seen were in London.
Yeah.
At a place called Halfway to Heaven, because the drag queens there actually sing using their own voices. They don't lip sync, and they're genuinely funny too. But out here, even in Toronto, yeah, I just, I don't need to see a cock in a frock on a rock. It doesn't really get me all that going, too excited. Just backing up here, Ruth says that the new double wedding ring die is not user-friendly and the videos available are not helpful. I strongly wasn't really happy with the end result. Well, okay. What?
Go up a little higher. M's here.
Yeah, I said that.
Okay.
Already.
Okay.
I said hi to M. Where were you?
I don't
Are
know.
you in the same universe? What dimension? Anyways, what's Karen says monthly Accuquilt videos, space them out a bit more. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, Karen, because it'll give me time to make them. Yeah, as well. Scott says get yourself to Ottawa, so pretty there. Yeah, Ottawa's nice. We haven't been to Ottawa in a while.
No, the last time we went, we saw a lot of derelicts.
Yes, we did. But yeah, Ottawa's kind of cool. Let's see. Crowds. Scott says I teach in a village in northern Saskatchewan and take kids to Pride. Yeah, that's good. They need to go. Yep. Adam says I don't like how overwhelming and crowded Pride events are, but I do feel at this time it's needed more than it has in the last 10 years at least. Kind of agree with you on that, Adam, because right now, especially for the Americans, the LGBTQ community is under attack by Trump. He is stripping away a lot of the things that the community has gained over the years. He's especially picking on the transgender community too, which isn't good. And it's getting pretty bad there. We are lucky here in Canada. We have our rights fully in law protected. We have same-sex marriage, have had it since 2004.
Yeah.
And that is protected. And basically there are no threats at the political level to our rights.
Well, we have a human rights code too,
yeah,
that protects people in their workplace and things like that.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry too much about those. Oh, every now and then there is some, hick that gets out there and decides they want to make a big protest against the gays, but it never goes very far because most people in Canada look at and go, yeah, really? Who cares? And that's the whole point. How is it that the gay community, the lesbians, the transgender people, how are they actually harming anybody else? Well, they like to say that we are pedophiles, and they like to say that we are grooming children for our lifestyle and all this stuff and whatnot. That's all bullshit. Anybody with half a brain knows that. So, it's just ridiculous. Of course, I feel sorry for the people in the LGBT community in the United States because it is very worrisome from them. I mean, look at what ICE has done to immigrants. Well, they're turning ICE against the LGBTQ community as well. It's just stupid. Apparently, you probably have heard of it. It's called Grindr. It is an online, for lack of a better word, dating system where gay people can meet other gay people. Well, I guess anytime there's a Republican convention anywhere, the Grindr server goes down.
Yeah, because it's overwhelmed with the number of people trying to meet other people.
Yeah, there's a whole lot that happens underground, you know, and it comes from these people who, oh, we're good Christians, family values and all of that. Yeah, meet you out by the dumpster. Yeah, whatever. Let's see here. Adam says UK drag is totally different thing to drag race drag. Yes, it is. We have seen it. I think they're more talented.
Yeah, Adam says most can sing and dance, stand-up comedy, etc. Very talented, no lip syncing, and death drops.
Death drops. I'm not sure what death drops are. Is that where they drop the microphone? I don't know. Down there. But
the ones here all lip sync, and their comedy's not usually very good.
No, their makeup sucks. I mean, it's more.
I don't really care if their makeup sucks, but it's nice to see ones that sing and stuff.
Yeah, the ones that have put a little bit of effort into it and use their own voices. And, you know, the ones that we've seen in the one in London, they're not trying to imitate a woman's voice when they're doing it. They're not making a parody of it. They are singing in their male voice. And, you know, it's very good. It's talented. And it's worth applause. Somebody up there going watermelon, watermelon, watermelon to a disco song, that's not talent. Okay? But, you know, don't get me started on drag queens because I have theories, and I'm not going to talk about my theories today. Another time. Scott says he likes the Pride celebrations in the smaller communities like I attended in Saskatoon and Flin Flon. The smaller ones are more homey. They're more community.
Yeah,
based.
And I'm sure if you're in that community and you see people you know, and the one in Toronto is so big that, you know, it used to be when we were younger and the parade wasn't as big, you would run into people that you hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And, but now the parade is so big and there's, and in those days, only gay people went to it.
Yeah.
Yes. But now we've got, everybody's going to it.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't, it's a sea of people and you don't run into people, you know.
The very first Pride parade we ever went to in Toronto ran about 2 blocks.
It ran about 2 blocks and there's about 70 people watching it.
Yeah, that was how. Now it'll run for hours and hours. And
and that was in the days before they had sponsorship from companies and things like that, corporations. And then slowly but surely the corporations started sponsoring it.
Yeah, Adam says politics over here are starting to try and mimic the same antics as the US. They've already started with the bathroom usage. Insert curse. Yeah, you know, that whole issue with the transgender people, which bathroom should they use and whatnot. And
you know what's annoying about that is the transgender community is such a small portion of society.
And what are they worried about?
And they're such a very tiny section.
Yeah. And, you know, as far as bathrooms are concerned, well, they're going to use a cubicle. Okay? Actually, I find that most public washrooms these days are very uncivilized. Anyways, they should all be cubicles.
The urinals were funny in Japan.
Oh, yeah, they were, yeah.
They were very tall.
Very tall. Which is kind of funny because the Japanese are not that tall of people. But whatever, not sure about that. Yeah, but, you know, and then, okay, the pronoun issue. I do have a problem with the pronoun issue, only in using it in a correct sentence. I was an English teacher. I know how to use pronouns. If you're one person, you're a he or a she or an it. You're not a they, them, or their. But at the same time, if this is something that's important to a transgendered person and they wish to be addressed that way, then I don't have any problems with it. Just give me a break if I slip. You know, because I've had almost 69 years of training in using pronouns one way. Don't expect that overnight it's going to become second nature to me. But if that is what makes you comfortable, if that's what you prefer, I have absolutely no problem with it because it's not harming me in any way, what shape, size, or form. So if you wish to be they or them, just let me know and I will address you accordingly. I would rather call you by your name, actually, because that would save the whole pronoun problem. But these other people who go on and on about this, why? Don't you have better things to put your energy into, like solving world peace and world hunger and finding a cure for cancer, than worried about pronouns? I don't get it at all. So in the United States, they've done a few things just to show you what I'm talking about here. That's not the one I want. There's the one I want. Okay, so in the United States, they have an executive order 14168 that mandates that federal agencies define gender strictly by one's sex assigned at birth. And so they were allowing for a while in certain states or whatever, your passport or whatever, they had an other category. Or you could check off if you were transgendered, say you were male to female, you could check female on your passport, and that's an official document. Now they're telling people they can't have that. They have to go back. They have to go with the gender that they were born with. Why? They say it's a security issue. How is that a security issue? I don't understand. That's just an excuse. In the military and athletics, they have a policy, enacted orders barring transgendered individuals from joining the military and prohibiting trans female athletes from participating in women's sports at the federal level. Okay, I can see an argument for this. A transgendered female, meaning male to female, there's a lot of things they can change. There's hormones they can take in that, but they still have the build of a man, of a male. Does that give them in certain sports an unfair advantage? However, there's a solution for all of this. Allow females and males to compete equally and change the rules of certain competitions so it compensates for possibly biological or physical differences with it. In the military, what does that have to do? There's women in the military fight side by side with men. So why can't transgendered? What's the problem there? I don't get it. And then state legislation. State legislatures across the country have introduced hundreds of bills targeting transgendered individuals, restricting access to gender-affirming care, regulating public facility usage, and limiting classroom discussions. I mean, at one point, Trump said, oh, well, your son will go in one day into kindergarten as a male, come back home as a female. No, it doesn't happen that way. Now, there is one thing that they're saying that minors in the school system, if they decide they want to change how they're going to be addressed, let's say a male to female wants to be now called, instead of John, wants to be called Jenny, school can't do that. They have to go through the parents. They have to have parents' permission for that. I don't have a problem with that, depending on the age of the child. But I think, the parents need to have that discussion with their children to decide, yeah, that's okay. We will call you Jenny from now on, and that kind of thing. But it's just one of the things where they're trying to take away the freedom and the rights of transgendered people.
And the other thing is they're making it sound like it's rampant, that this is like thousands and thousands or hundreds or millions and millions of people it's affecting. It's not. It's affecting very limited
just a very small number,
portion.
a portion of the society, really. Um, it's just I don't get it. Why they want what's the threat? What's the threat?
Especially when a lot of this stuff like that, kids or whatever that are having a problem with their gender, are being seen by doctors and are getting, what do you call it?
Hormone inhibitors,
Counseling and things like that, that it's not just something people just do.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a process for all of this. But really, I don't think states should have a say in this. This is a family concern.
This is a health issue.
Yeah, it's a health issue, a mental health issue.
Yeah.
Because transgendered people, a lot of people think they're just going through a phase or they're just making it up. And that's a possibility. But for the most part, no, they really do feel they are trapped in the wrong body. And this is causing them a lot of anguish and grief. It causes suicide. Suicide numbers amongst the transgendered community are very high, mainly because of what society is doing to them. Saying, you are messed up, you are wrong, you have to do this. No. It's also a human rights issue, the whole bit. But apparently in this administration in the United States, human rights is non-existent.
And it leaks into other countries as well.
Yeah, it does. There's other countries that are doing
Adam
this too.
was saying things were changing in the UK as well.
Yeah. So, and part of it, we bring this back to the Pride celebrations. Transgendered are represented in the Pride Parade as well. And yes, it is political because it's got to make a lot of the ignorant individuals out there, and I mean the ones with a lack of knowledge, who believe everything they hear in the media, and depending on which side of the media that they're listening to, how that changes them, that that somehow transgender are antichrists or something, that they're the devil incarnate. They're not. They're human beings. Let them live. I mean, what's ironic about the United States, that in the Constitution, what is it? It says that people have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, when you start making legislation like this, that's really goes against the pursuit of happiness. So, yeah, Pride celebrations are important every year. They bring to the surface for a little bit of time the issues that are out there. And many, many people who don't have someone in their life that is part of the community, the LGBT community, maybe these are things that they didn't understand or didn't know. So it's an opportunity for an educational moment, to say the least, about this kind of thing. So anyways, that's all about Pride. Now let's go.
Can we see the comments? People have been making comments.
Yes, okay, fine. Just a second. Let me get things turned around here. Okay, so let's see. What are people saying? Where are we?
The QK Drag, Stephen St. Dance, Scott McPhee.
Like the Pride celebrations, Adam's politics starting to try. Adam also, there was a study recently that showed the depletion of muscle tone, physical strength, decrease in stamina, etc. after different lengths of time on hormones, more or less in line with biofemales. Yeah, I can see that.
Saying making more of a case that they can play with.
Yeah, that they can be, that it's not an unfair playing ground. Yeah. Ruth says these decisions should be between the individual and their medical providers. Government should stay out of it. Exactly. They should. I mean, Trudeau said it, the first Trudeau, in our own country back in the 70s. He said, government has no place in the bedrooms of the country. And same here. Governments should not be saying how people should what? It's not up to a government to make the decision as to whether or not you're transgendered or you're gay or you're lesbian or whatever. That is a discussion for you and your family and the people closest to you.
Yeah, and if you're under medical care, your doctors.
Yes, and under doctors, the people who have the education and the learning to know about, you know, the drugs and everything else that go with it and the psychology behind it all that kind of stuff. Okay, Inez, enjoy your dinner. So anyways, let's go to, I was going to go meanwhile in Canada, but we're not. We're going to jump right into FIFA. Okay, so in Toronto this June, we have two things going on. We have Pride and we have FIFA. Toronto has an uncanny way of stacking up the different events all at once, making Toronto a very difficult place to get around in when these are going on. Okay, just in case you're planning a trip to Toronto for FIFA. So, what is this whole thing with soccer? Okay, soccer is a game, or football, as they call it in Europe. Okay, got nothing against it. If you enjoy soccer, if you enjoy playing it, if you enjoy watching it, that's great. That's fine. People enjoy baseball. They enjoy hockey. They enjoy football. They enjoy cricket. You know, tennis, whatever. I don't, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not about me. You know, whatever you enjoy. The problem with FIFA is it blows it all out of proportion. And for what? Well, first of all, let's talk about the money, because that is really what's running it. In fact, in my opinion, money is basically what sports are all about.
I mean, FIFA was only European for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, the last few years, Canada and the US and Mexico have jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Because they think they're going to make a whole pile of money.
And are they going to make money? Well, somebody's making the money. So, like, this is what I found out about the money-making thing. So, ticket and attendance costs. Supporter entry tier. FIFA introduced a dedicated $60 USD fixed price tier for fans of qualified national teams across all 104 matches, including the final. I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean it's only going to cost you $60 for a ticket to one of the... Yeah. So what?
I think it allows you to buy a ticket.
Oh, fixed price tier for fans of qualified national teams. So
I don't know.
I don't know, because I don't think there's any $60 tickets out there.
Mm.
And general admission and resale for matches in high demand. Get-in prices have soared. Tickets on resale markets at FIFA's official platform regularly range from $850 to $1,400 per ticket. At the time that this was probably created, I think it's a lot more than that, because I'm hearing that tickets are going for $2,500 to $5,000 to $10,000, depending on the match and where it's being held. So yeah, now they're claiming that that's from resale. So, you know, scalpers basically out there. But they've just made it almost impossible for the average person to get a ticket, because these resellers buy up great big huge lots of these tickets, and then there's none to be had, and the only way to get a ticket is to go through them, and so they inflate the price tremendously. And something called hospitality packages, VIP experiences, and hospitality bundles are significantly more expensive, starting at $2,500 US per seat, stretching into tens of thousands for premium tournament series packages. So what they're doing is you can get an upgrade, but you have to have like a lot of money for this kind of thing. And then, of course, there's accommodation, because a lot of people will be coming in from out of town or out of country. So they're talking about $600 to $1,000 per night, depending on the host city. Actually, I've heard that it's more than that.
Mm-hmm.
They've been reporting on the news.
But I was reading that there's been a lack of interest for accommodation, that they're not getting as many.
Yeah, they're not getting what they expected to get. So I don't know if they're offering it at a little bit lower price then or whatever. Well, who can afford it? That's the thing. But there are diehard fans out there who will mortgage their house and sell a child to get a ticket and get accommodation for these things. I mean, that's nuts. Okay, there's something not right up in the brain here. Oh, Colleen's here. Hi, Colleen. And Quilter 7939 is here. One guy, Rachel says, in UK sold his house so he can attend every match. That's ludicrous. That's just crazy. I mean, if ABBA ever had a reunion, I would pay money to go and see it.
Well, it
But I
depends on
wouldn't
how
mortgage
much.
my house.
No.
So yeah. And I've seen ABBA, what do they call that we went to in London?
ABBA-esque.
ABBA-esque or
No,
what?
no, I can't remember what it's called.
Shoot, what was that? But anyways, I saw that. And that was pretty close. But I would never, ever spend that kind of money for it. That's just fanatical. Marilyn says there's even a FIFA World Cup fabric collection. Oh, yeah. They capitalize on everything. Adam says $10K for a ticket. Whoever pays that needs to see someone, not a football match. Yeah. And he says, I wouldn't attend one if someone paid me $10K. Yeah. Yeah.
ABBA Voyage. That's what it was.
Abbott Voyage. Yeah, that's what we saw. Yeah. So, I mean, these people are nuts and they're feeding on it. Now, there's other costs too, like the host city. You know, Toronto is a host city of this. And they're saying for Canadian taxpayers, the total public investment to co-host games in Vancouver and in Toronto is projected to reach 1.066 billion Canadian dollars. The federal support, the Canadian federal government is covering 473 million of that, and the host cities and provinces are going to split the rest, and averaging roughly 82 million Canadian per game. And there are 6 games in Toronto. You do the math. That's a shitload of money.
And that's tax dollar payer dollars.
And that's who's paying. We're paying for that. And we're not even going to a game. That's coming out of our tax dollars for it. This is money that is being wasted. This money could be used if they've got this much money to spend on a soccer game competition. Why couldn't they spend that same money on the homeless? Right now,
see, they're thinking they're gonna make a whole pile of money
yes,
for who's gonna go see it.
That's what they tell the general public. But I did some research on that as well. And what I found was, let me see if I can find the article here. That's not that one. Let's see here. Yeah, here's what I found about this, first of all. FIFA keeps the commercial upside. FIFA controls ticketing, sponsorships, merchandising. Host cities face strict contracts that limit what they can sell and often legally obligate them to cover organizational, stadium, and security costs. So it's FIFA that gets all this money. Who is FIFA? It's a lot of rich millionaires that run this. This money is not going back into the welfare system or into helping the poor or into research for medical purposes or that kind of stuff. They're keeping it. The rich are keeping this money. In fact, there was somebody out in the western provinces of Canada, I just saw it on the National, they bought a FIFA ticket and they were auctioning it off online to raise money for a charity. FIFA shut them down. They said they couldn't do that. But they bought the ticket. The ticket wasn't gifted to them by FIFA. They bought the ticket, but FIFA says, no, you can't do that. So there you go. And they had to shut down. FIFA put legal restraints on them. Massive outlays versus low returns. Cities invest heavily in stadiums, security, and infrastructure. For example, Canadian taxpayers are spending heavily on their games, with costs escalating to $624 million in Vancouver and $300 million in Toronto. Toronto had a soccer stadium area, but it wasn't big enough to handle the crowds for FIFA. So they have built a temporary stadium stands and stuff like that. That cost all kinds of money. Are they going to recoup those costs from the ticket sales? No, they're not, because FIFA is keeping the profits. Host cities in the United States and Canada rely heavily on public funding to fulfill their contracts with FIFA. See, they have a contract with FIFA as well. So this is a business. The financial returns to these cities is mostly non-cash, coming through localized broader GDP boosts like tourism and hospitality spending rather than direct municipal revenue. So what they're trying to tell us, the public, is, oh yeah, but it's not going to cost us anything. We're going to benefit from it. All this money is going to come in. It's going towards, we're going tourism, and all this kind of stuff. It's going to bring in. It's good for the economy. Well, I found something else about that. Where is it? Yeah, I had it. That's not what I wanted. And just give me a moment here. I have it. I did a search for, have any host cities ever won or have ever, not been in the hole after a FIFA. Let me find the article. I don't know what I did with it, because that one's the one I already saw. I had it. And it's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. Anyways, I don't know where the article went, but what I found was, I just put into the search engine, has any host city ever made money from a FIFA event? It came up and said, none. No host city in history of FIFA have ever made a profit or broken even. They've all gone drastically into the hole. So this stuff our politicians are telling us here in Canada about how this is going to be so good for the economy is bullshit. So why are we having this? Why do we need it? We don't need it. And here's another thing. We mentioned before that the Pride ceremonies in Toronto to date have been always very, very peaceful. There has been no serious violence. Well, you can't say that about FIFA. What?
You have it there.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to. There is violence. And I found this. Come on. There it is. Okay. Stadium and venue violence. While violent altercations, fights, rioting, or stabbings inside FIFA stadiums are rare, they do occur. Incidents outside the stadium, such as in nearby plazas or transit hubs, are more common and present security challenges for hosts. Well, why is that? Well, next point. Fan clashes and hooliganism. In heavily polarized or rivalry-driven regional leagues, violence between organized fan groups is well documented. During global tournaments, rivalries can spill into public spaces, leading to localized assaults and public disturbances. Well, they serve booze. You can buy beer, at least the one in Toronto, and I'm sure the same with Vancouver and any other venue. You can buy booze, beer. In fact, you can't come in with your own water bottle, because they figure people will be smuggling in their own booze. But there you go. You combine the effects of alcohol on an already hyped up crowd because their favorite team is playing or whatever it's doing, you're going to get clashes. And those clashes are going to end up being fights and violent. So why do we need this? Why do we have to have something like this that adds to this? And then here's something I did not know. Domestic violence. Statistical studies show a significant correlation between World Cup viewing and incidents of domestic abuse. Research indicates that reports of intimate partner violence can spike by 25 to 38% in the hours immediately following a match, often fueled by emotional stress and heavy alcohol consumption. These idiots get all tanked up. Their team loses. They go into despair. They're angry, the whole bit. So what do? They redirect.
They just spent $10,000 on a ticket.
Yeah, they redirect their aggression on their family, on their wives, on their children. Yeah, is this really worth it? And this is sanctioned. This is sanctioned violence because it's sanctioned by the governments that have put this in place. They're saying, yeah, that's okay. They know this has got potential to happen. If they didn't, why has Toronto got the police force? All they're saying, oh yeah, we've got extra security, the whole bit. They're trained for this and the whole bit. But why? If you didn't think there's a possibility of this violence erupting. So this is sanctioned. This is sanctioned by the governments for this. All so they can lose a whole lot of money and pay for this for years down the road. It's stupid. It's stupid. All of this money, all of this time, this effort and everything, if this had only been channeled to homelessness, to the education system, to healthcare, and I'm talking here in our own province, what they could achieve with this money that's there, really. So yeah, this is why I'm not a fan of organized sports, especially something on the level of FIFA. Now, you may differ in your opinion, and you're perfectly entitled to that. But I just think it's a waste of money and resources, and it just presents more problems than anything else. I'm just trying to find my button here. There it is. So let's see. People are commenting. Where's my cursor? Where'd it go? It's down there. I want it up here. Okay, so it's going down here to catch up on the conversation. Debbie says, way overpriced. Plus, you have to worry about the fans stampeding over themselves and fighting like 2-year-olds. Yeah. Adam says, very true, Rachel, but where would you store it? Oh, the fabric, I think you're talking about. Kim's here. Hi, Kim. Well, at least you're not financing a stupid ballroom or arch. Well, this is true. Scott says FIFA are a bunch of gangsters. Yeah, they are. And Colleen says, I learned a new expression from Brian Farrell's play, Dancing at Lunasa. No, this discussion about FIFA makes me want to use corner boy language. That's going to be my new way to swear. You know, I have no idea what Colleen's talking about. It's like a different language. So I guess I'm not in the know on that stuff, but yeah, it's stupid. It's just plain stupid. Are
you all the way down?
Yeah, I'm all the way down. See?
Okay, because I see this down here too.
Well, it didn't come up on here, but I'm all the way down. So I don't know why that didn't show up there. Why it's maybe it's a time delay. It may not have popped up yet. Oh no, it should have. I don't know what that meant anyways. And Colleen says in 1977, I booked a B&B in London. Other arrangements occurred. This discussion about FIFA makes me want to use corner boy language. That's going to be my... Oh, wait.
You just retracted the message.
Oh, okay. So, I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, whatever you think out of it all. You've heard ours, because this wouldn't be our show if we didn't express our opinion about it. I just think it's a waste of money and resources for something that they're never going to get a benefit out of.
The Canadian teams aren't going to win.
Oh, God, no. That's for sure. It's going to be interesting after it's all over with, and who knows what's going to happen. Toronto is not ready. They keep talking about, oh yeah, they're ready. People will be using the subway system and the whole bit. It breaks down every other day. They're talking about how it's going to be, just so great. All this tourism in Toronto and people. Toronto can't handle it.
Yeah. On top of that, they have the Pride stuff on. And that brings in a lot of people into the city.
Now, there isn't a FIFA game on the same day as the Pride Parade, thank God. But, okay, let's just project, shall we? People,
but I think there's a game the day after.
Yeah. Well, people who are fanatics about FIFA tend to be loggerheads, and probably a little bit redneckish. Let's put the rednecks in with the Pride Parade and possibility for clashing. I don't know. We'll see how that all works out. But I think Toronto's got their hands full with this event. But yeah, they're a world-class city, don't you know? That's what they keep telling us. I've seen a lot of cities in the world. Toronto is not world-class. Not even sure what world-class really means, but Toronto's not it.
Not as world class as some of the other cities.
No, for sure. But anyway, so that's our little rant about FIFA and everything. And yeah, so that's it for us today. Nothing more. Next week, who knows what we'll talk about. Whatever gets stuck in our claw, kind of a thing. Hope you all have a really good week. If you're free on Wednesday and want to do something, come join me for So Day. And yeah, any passing comments?
No.
Okay, everybody, have a great what's left of the weekend and have a great week coming up, and we'll see everybody